when we're ready. Who's going to wave at us? Is it Scott?
Yeah, actually.
Is it? We're early. We're early for Master.
Yeah.
I can't see, that's why the clock is back there. I'm finally at that age where I can't see.
You got 2 minutes.
Okay.
Tim's gonna use it.
Okay. You should probably tell them what event they're at.
For sure.
30 seconds.
Welcome and many blessings, friends, to this year's World Brotherhood Day celebration. It's a real blessing and joy to celebrate this sacred day together. We, of course, wish that all of you could be here in this temple, but thank God for the internet and this ability to connect in spirit through online. So let's begin together with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashai, Swami Shri Yukteswar, beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, saints of all religions, we humbly bow to you all. Beloved Guru, we celebrate your life that dwells in our hearts. We rejoice in celebrating this World Brotherhood Day. In your grace that has brought us together, flow through us as we share your living presence with all in the world. Om Peace. Amen.
Hello, friends. Thank you, Jitendra. I am Mai, and I wanted to say welcome to everybody to World Brotherhood Day. I'm so delighted to be here yet once again to celebrate World Brotherhood Day. It is a special day, and we have wonderful speakers tonight to talk a little bit about what we do here on World Brotherhood Day and what World Brotherhood Day represents to each one of us. And so I'd like to invite the singers up for a song, well, multiple songs.
Lived in many countries and mixed with many men. and share the days of sunshine, gone with them in the rain. The fires at evening said we were brothers. The fires at evening said we were brothers. A soldier I saw weeping beside a dying friend. My officers had said I must hate him till the end. But seeing his grief I knew we were brothers. But seeing his grief I knew we were brothers.
A man sat on a doorstep to see the children play. The gentle way he smiled there would charm your fears away. A stranger he, but love made us brothers. A stranger he, but love made us brothers.
One day I climbed a mountain with friends of other lands.
The words we used were different, but joy one understands.
Our gladness in God's world made us brothers. Our gladness in God's world made us brothers. The words and customs vary like waves upon the sea. One life beneath the surface binds everyone to me. Who knows the truth knows all men as brothers. Who knows the truth knows all men as brothers. Then brothers, why endeavor to set ourselves apart? The fences we've been building squeeze tight upon our hearts. Come sing the truth that all men are brothers. Come sing the truth that all men are brothers.
Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father, all our lives we dedicate to Thee. All our labors, all our joys and woes, all our pleasure, all our melody.
Make us each a channel of Thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. Where there's sorrow, may we sow Thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share Thy love. Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father, all our lives we dedicate to Thee. All our labors, all our joys and woes, all our pleasure, all our melody. Make us each a channel of Thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. Where there's sorrow, may we sow Thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share Thy love.
And for our final song, we'll sing the Christmas Mystery, and we'll invite you to join with us on the chorus. We're getting a little bit of feedback. Can we move the mics further apart? Would that help? Let's see if that does it. Okay. So, the words that you'll sing along with are,
Who'll tell to me this mystery?
How a tiny babe in a manger laid.
could so many hearts to love persuade.
This holy Son of Mary.
Long ago there was a little shed, there 3 mighty kings did bow their heads to a gentle babe of low degree, whom men called the Son of Mary. Who'll tell to me this mystery, how a tiny babe in a manger laid could so many hearts to love persuade, this holy Son of Mary. Shepherds came and knelt in wonder there, seeing him in light beyond compare, and his eyes that told them all love was he, whom men called the Son of Mary. Who'll tell to me this mystery, how a tiny babe in a manger laid could so many hearts to love persuade, this holy Son of Mary. Wonderful it was that Christmas day, how from far and near they came to pray, how from far they glimpsed His majesty, whom men called the Son of Mary. Who'll tell to me this mystery, how a tiny babe in a manger laid could so many hearts to love persuade, this holy Son of Mary.
Could it be that in that little one, Spirit's universal love did shine?
If it's true, He lives in you and me, whom men call the Son of Mary. Who'll tell to me this mystery, how a tiny babe in a manger laid could so many hearts to love persuade, this holy Son of Mary.
Wasn't that just beautiful? I wanted to say thank you for joining us today. Today is our celebration of World Brotherhood Day. But before I do that, let me introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mai, and I have the greatest joy of serving with our Ananda fundraising team. And there's 4 of us, so some of you we know and some of you we don't know. But many of you, we are friends and devotees and gurubhais that we know from all around the world. And we receive all of your letters with your donations and your gifts and your testimonies, and we are so blessed to be in receipt of those beautiful, inspiring stories. I am Mai, and Jyotish Spearing is also, Nayaswami Jyoti is a part of the team, as well as Emily and Diane and Pushpa. That makes up the fundraising team. I wanted to be really clear and specific today because a lot of times when we are out there meeting with donors and talking about outreach ministries and the importance of supporting the work, and I try to say to our donors very specifically, it's really important to support the work, not simply because you have to, but is because it is the place where inspiration happens. We receive and also give an inspiration. And know that this group here at Ananda and worldwide really makes things possible. This is not just for the new person. This is not just for the devotee who's been here 50 years. It is making Master alive and available to anyone, to any truth seeker who may be passing by or is in need of deep inspiration. So many times I've been out in the marketplace working in multiple charities, and they always say it is not how many donors you have, but it is about the depth of support and commitment that your donors give to support the mission. And Ananda has grown tremendously over the years. But this is made possible because of the dedication of individuals like you, new and 50 plus years of serving Master's work. And it's this mix of people that's dedicated to sharing in Swamiji's teaching, sharing in Master's teaching, and sharing in friendship and joy that makes this work possible. So if you're sitting there, because I know, like me, you receive lots of donation solicitations from all around the world also. And what makes your gift so important and vital to Ananda is that it allows Ananda to be there for individuals who may not have access to a meditation group. It may not be that they have a temple that they can come to. Some of them are dialing in from their living rooms. But as we all know, lately, a lot of us are dialing in from our living rooms. So it is not just for the new devotee or the truth seeker, but it is for all of us. And all of this production and all of the teachers and all of the friendships that we've developed and the connections and the deep, deep family bond that we have for each other is possible because of everyone, I myself included. We are all this family, and we build this work. And today is that special day. Jyotish will talk about why did this tradition of World Brotherhood Day come together, and what does it do to support? What does it do to support outreach ministries? But today is really important, not just in your financial contribution, but also in your time and your energy. And that's what makes Ananda, the family that I'm so proud to be a part of. And thank you for all of your beautiful messages. I'm in receipt of them, and I love reading them. So keep sending them, because there is someone reading at the other end. I'd like to introduce Jitendra to talk a little bit about the online work.
Thank you, Mai. And for those who I haven't had the chance to connect with, my name is Jitendra, and I serve with the Online with Ananda ministry. I'd like to begin with reading a quote by our Guru Paramahansa Yogananda. And this was a writing of his entitled, "Our United Soul Force." Only through our united soul force can God help this world. Real brotherhood can never come unless we feel it in our hearts, and such feeling can only be attained through self-realization and contact of God in meditation. The laws of God are the laws of brotherhood in love. All nations must come into the temple of universal love and understanding. Love alone will last. So Yogananda came to show the world a vision of unity. And this is our mission with Online with Ananda. But also, each and every one of us, this is our responsibility in some sense of sharing these vibrations of love that we experience as devotees to the world, for all who are seeking it. I wanted to start off by sharing that often you see a depiction of Lord Krishna as baby Krishna sitting at the river Jamuna playing his flute and calling his playmates who are pursuing worldly attraction to that divine search within. And I like the way this puts the visualization around what we do here with our online ministry, as we are a channel for our Guru's music, his love, his grace, his blessings, and broadcasting that to the world so that all those souls who are seeking truth, seeking love, seeking this unity, begins to hear this divine melody, begins to feel that awakening thirst in their hearts. And then we, Ananda, we have a home for all of those souls who are seeking. I wanted to invite you just for a moment, close your eyes, and for just a few moments, call to mind, call into your hearts, moments, minutes of blessings that you've thus far experienced, of being a part of this global family of Ananda, being a disciple, a devotee of Yogananda. Just recall this and feel this blessing that has come into your life in any form that it may take or has taken. And so opening your eyes, and in that inner experience, that remembrance, that feeling of those blessings that have been showered upon us, this indeed is our opportunity and responsibility to share, to be a channel for those who are seeking these blessings. Swami Kriyananda, the founder of Ananda, he couldn't have done it without Guru's grace, without Yogananda. And we certainly couldn't have done what we're doing without Guru's grace and without Swami Kriyananda's guidance. And just the same, this world needs that support. And we are offering that support in so many ways through online. We have a lot of new courses that we're developing. We're working on right now a master class of the Raja Yoga, which is going to be a collaboration of all of the Ananda leaders around the world and teachers. We are developing and strengthening new ways of guiding students through the path of Kriya, with also sharing the scriptures in ways to how to attune to them, as well as training hundreds of people in teaching meditation, teaching Ananda Yoga, and the list goes on. Now, I could share thousands of reviews that we receive every year for all of the engagement that comes through this online ministry. And I was just today, for about half hour, 45 minutes, I was just scrolling through a bunch of our reviews for various courses, and it just opens the heart of how powerful everyone who comes into this aura of our Guru to Ananda is touched and blessed. And if I could pick two words that's a common thread throughout many or most of the reviews, which is life-changing. Yes, people are blessed in so many ways, but they speak of how their life is transformed over even just a short amount of time. I was reading many reviews that not only do their lives change, they begin to feel the joy of living for God. And that joy is what unites this world. That joy is what unites families and breaks down all of these challenges that the world is experiencing. I'd like to read, though, just one review that, again, I could share many of them, but here's just one that I thought reflects the community aspect of this work and this family that we have been blessed through the grace of our Guru with. So this is a member who lives in England. And he's speaking of our Ananda virtual community, which I'll share a little bit of stats of that just in a moment. So this individual writes, "The Ananda virtual community has helped me to grow spiritually through attuning with other spiritual seekers. I've come to realize that other like-minded souls are essential for our growth, both through helping us and allowing us to help them. I don't live near an Ananda members center or community, so having an online community is essential to me and many others. My life is changed through these teachings and blessings. The members are selfless, helpful, and supportive, and those that run it are tireless in giving their time and energy to their members." And so just this individual, and like many other individuals who are coming through this online ministry, they too are starting to build meditation groups and centers all around the world. We have hundreds of thousands of people who visit ananda.org yearly. Of that, we had last year, we had about 3,000 individuals who signed up for at least one course of over 50 different countries. So I'm sorry, over 100 different countries around the world. I didn't know there was 100 countries in this world. Our Ananda course in meditation, we've had thus far thousands of students coming through this doorway, through the path of Kriya. Just last year, we had about 1,200 students who came in to learn Master's teachings of over about 35 different countries. Our virtual community currently has about 350 individuals from about 25 different countries around the world, where we come together to support each other in feeding this fire of devotion to find God, and to share these vibrations into the world to bring forth this divine unity, which is our Guru's mission, and thus it is our mission. So I thank you for your support, and we're only getting started. So please continue to add everything and anything you can as a channel of our Guru to help this work and to bring these blessings to those who may be in need and seeking. God bless you, and World Brotherhood Day blessings to you all, friends. I'd like to invite a dear friend and director of the Kriya Sangha, Devi, up to the stage now.
Well, that was beautiful. We are certainly very interconnected, and I want to share a little bit about how the Kriya Sangha is connecting people all over the world and Ananda's work as well. in various ways. We train people for Kriya Yoga online through the online courses, and this past year in 2022, there were over 250 people who received Kriya Yoga through, they took our training and then they received Kriya Yoga. A small number of that comparatively came here in person. 40 people came here in person, but many more received Kriya online, over 140 in 27 different countries from here. And the remainder of those people who trained with us for Kriya and received Kriya received it throughout Europe, throughout the United States, even in India. And it's just, more and more we're this worldwide work. We've always been a worldwide work, but you're seeing it so tangibly in these Kriya ceremonies and helping people receive Kriya Yoga. The next thing I wanted to share is some exciting news, because I think the last 2 years, it might have even been 3 years, we've mentioned this Kriya portion of the Ananda meditation app, that it was coming, and it's arrived. So about September 15th, actually, we launched it. It's available on the Android currently and will later be available on Apple. It includes 30 new videos and audio files, different guided Kriya meditations with different Kriyacharyas, and we have some screenshots that we can show of this as well. Guided Kriya meditation, short inspirational talks, a review of the basics of Kriya, every aspect of Kriya Yoga, just broken down into bite-sized pieces so that you can review, one part of it, maybe that you're struggling with. And for those that don't have an Android, don't have a tablet or a phone, you can still access all of these. We have them available on the Kriya Support website. We made a page with all of these videos and audio available for everyone who has Kriya through Ananda Kriya Sangha. And I invite you to utilize this. It is for you as a Kriya Bon. It's something that really does help people from afar and locally here. So I want to just end with 2 testimonials. This first one is from a longtime Kriya Bon. She is someone who is not able to travel. She lives in the United States, but she receives inspiration online. She says, I just want to let you know that I appreciate the recordings so much, especially the one recently from the Kriya Bon retreat. I don't know any Kriya Bons personally except those at Ananda, and hearing you all talk about Kriya is so helpful to me. Usually everyone talks to the new Kriya Bons, and the talk is geared to the beginner, which is good, don't get me wrong. I like those talks too. But hearing someone talk about the little things is very helpful to me. It makes me feel that I'm not alone. The way my life is right now, I doubt that I'll be able to visit Ananda again. But thank you for letting us listen online. I know it's not the same as being there, but it's what keeps me faithful. So this is a woman in Santa Margarita in Southern California. Then this last one is from a couple who received Kriya online. As I mentioned, we have given Kriya to over 140 people online from here, from Ananda Village, just this year. and many more in years past as well. And these two are living in Lithuania, and they're very connected with Ananda Assisi, but because of the situation, their situation and other difficulties in Europe, they can't travel to Assisi. And so they started doing some of their training with us. And they received Kriya from us. And whenever we send Kriya, sorry, I just have to explain, whenever we give Kriya initiation, we send them written lessons and we send them dried rose petals. So your mail has reached Lithuania. Rose petals made it safely, along with the rest of the precious documentation. Thank you for this feeling of belonging to a family from everywhere. For weaving relationships across oceans. And sorry, one more last line. We are in a wave of joy since Kriya initiation, enjoying already the fruit of our practice and just beginning. So, thank you. And I will invite Nayaswami Jyotish, Director of Ananda Worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you, Devalila, and all of the speakers. It's so really inspiring to hear about all of the outreach efforts, all of the people being touched. You know, it's not, yes, it's wonderful to hear 100 or 200 different countries and all of the spread outwardly, but it isn't really about numbers on a large level. It's really about numbers of friendships, of lives touched, of lives changed. That's why Yogananda came. He was intensely interested in helping spread the ideals of unity and of lives directed toward God, helped by that spiritual inspiration. And he came in order to share that light as widely as possible. I read a very interesting story just recently about how he met his, who he called his second most advanced disciple, Yogacharya Oliver Black. Yogananda was on the East Coast and he was scheduled to travel to, I think, Denver. And his normal route would have taken him through Columbus, Ohio, and then on to the more western states, and he received a strong message from God to stop in Detroit, which took him out of his way. But since he had gotten a message from God, he stopped in Detroit. He didn't know why he had stopped in Detroit, and he didn't know what he was supposed to do there. So he got out the phone book and he started running his finger down the names in the phone book, and then he came to a name and he stopped and he dialed that number, and the woman that on the other end answered the phone. He introduced himself and she said, "Oh, I know who you are. I attended one of your classes, one of your lectures. Oh, I would so love to meet you, and it just so happens that there's a man here teaching a yoga class with about 10 students. And if you would like to come over and meet him, we would be delighted." So Yogananda went over and met Yogacharya Oliver Black. He stayed, I don't know what his schedule was, but he stayed for 10 days or 2 weeks, Oliver Black recalled at that time. And that connection was immediate. The point here being that Yogananda was constantly eager to spread this light into the world and was following the dictates of God in order to do so. World Brotherhood was very very sacred to him. As Swami Kriyananda puts it, it is the very nature of joy to want to share itself. And Yogananda, being filled with joy, wanted to share that joy with others. Now, we're in a world that desperately needs all the shared joy that it can get. And so that impulse to share with others has been strong. It's been strong since the beginning. It was also one of the primary motivations and primary attitudes of Swami Kriyananda from the very beginning of when he first came to Yogananda. And so in the development of Ananda, this desire to share these teachings, to share the joy, to help others, has been there from the beginning. And the concept of world brotherhood, of course, has been there from the beginning. It started with Yogananda. But more than 40 years ago, Swami Kriyananda said, it isn't enough just to talk about world brotherhood. We need to do something more tangible than that. At that time, there was only Ananda village, and it was Devi and I were just starting the ashram, first major city center in San Francisco. And Swami said, why don't we have something that we can call people together, those who were already serving, who are already receiving this, and allow them to help others to also receive it. So that was the first World Brotherhood Day in the Oddfellows Hall in San Francisco, a place where Yogananda himself had taught some decades earlier. And so the concept of those of us who have received coming in order to donate some portion of finances. Typically, we've suggested that people donate 1 day's earnings, 1 day's wages to help spread these teachings. But regardless of what people actually donate, the more important idea is that those of us who have received, it's now time to help others receive. And for our growth, it's time to help others receive. Because if we're just on the receiving end, it's like a thimble being held up, and a certain amount can be poured into that thimble, but it won't hold very much, or a cup, or maybe even a bucket. But nonetheless, that can't hold very much. If you open up the flow of energy through that and share with others what we have received, then more can be given. So from that first impulse to share these teachings and to do something tangible, but at that time we didn't have many channels. We could help publications, we could send books out to people, we could send some lessons out to people, but that was really kind of the extent. Now we have hundreds and hundreds of channels throughout the world where people are not only can possibly be helped, but are already actively being helped. Devi and I travel around the world, and we've just finished a 3.5-month journey to Europe and then on to India. And we heard dozens of stories. Devi will share more about that. But dozens of stories how during these very difficult years of the pandemic, because our trip was in many places the first time the devotees in that place had been able to gather in large numbers since the beginning of the pandemic. But during the pandemic, during this time, we heard story after story after story of how Ananda had been able to be a life support in some cases, literally a life support to people. In other cases, a financial support. Some of our centers helped people who lost their job. They helped keep them in their homes, keep them in food for the period of time until they could regain their jobs. They helped comfort those who had lost loved ones. But this sense of wanting to share, wanting to help, wanting to spread the joy in a spirit of true world brotherhood now has enough centers so that we can really begin to make that more than an aspiration. It has now become the possibility, the reality of helping hundreds and thousands of people every year. And so but of course, the effort to do that needs to have generous donors in order to provide the funds that make that possible. And as I said, not only does it help the donations that you make, not only do they help make this concept of world brotherhood tangible and real, but for you who participate in this, it makes you then a channel of the divine desire to share joy, to bring this world into more unity and more harmony, to show the natural goodwill of people with a desire to see others have lives that are uplifted or in some cases maintained. That desire to share with others is perhaps the most core of the core of all the Ananda values. And so I'd like to personally thank all of you who have so often donated generously and continue to do that. And thank you for helping make this work possible. I'll now invite Devi up, and she'll share some with some stories of what has been happening.
Thank you, Jyotish. Oh. Thank you. So as Jyotish said, we got back just a few weeks ago from long traveling to Ananda centers. We were based in Assisi in Europe, but people came from all over, and then we went on to India. And I wanted to share with you one story that happened while we were in Assisi. A man came while we were there who had been a good friend of ours. He was from Germany and a good friend of Swami Kriyananda's. And we hadn't seen him since the pandemic started. And he came up to us and he said, I have a confession to make. And actually it was a tea for a small group of patrons for the publications business in Europe. Yogananda Edizione. And he said, I have a confession to make. When Swami Kriyananda passed in 2013, he said, I didn't think Ananda would continue in the same spirit. I didn't mean that it would fail, but just the expansive attunement that Swamiji had, I didn't see how that was possible. And he had tears in his eyes. He said, I can't tell you how much it means to me to see the spirit with which it's been carrying on. And this evening you've heard different ones of our outreach ministry speak, Mai and Jitendra, Devalila, and of course our wonderful singers. And this is the next generation that are carrying things on. And so it's so heartening to see that the spirit of Swamiji will go on. And we are passing the baton. We're not quite done holding it yet, but we're more than happy to pass it on. And they will also pass the baton to others. And so this ongoing movement of people coming, it was so touching in India. We were having a satsang at the Delhi Center, and a woman who had a successful job, gave it up, and now works full-time in the center. She said, the most important thing that happened in my spiritual life, she said, I'm a shy person. She's of Japanese heritage. And she said, I'd come to the center, but I always stood against the wall. I didn't talk to people. And then one day someone came up to me and said, could you help for a minute? The people working in the boutique haven't had time for lunch. Could you bring them some tea and some snacks? She said, someone wanted my help. She said, yeah, I had a job, yeah, I earned money, but someone wanted my help. She said, that simple request changed my life. So my friends, wherever you are, we invite you to help. We invite you to help this great wave of sharing and hope and strength and inspiration and support that is moving out across the world in many languages. Our Spanish ministry just finished having an online yoga teacher training and meditation teacher training. The teacher for the yoga portion was from Spain. The teacher from the meditation portion was based at Ananda village. But now we have many new teachers who can share this in the Spanish language. We're hearing also from India. But up till this point, it's all been taught in English. Now we're starting to, we just had a very inspiring Kriya in Hindi, taught some of our American teachers. Nayaswami Diana has learned to speak Hindi and is sharing it. And we're having meditation groups spring up in their own native languages. And we've already translated autobiography, I think, in 5 different regional languages. So it's just amazing. The network throughout the world and the young people coming up to say, I will do this. I will carry on in the spirit of Master and Swamiji. And through coming back now to the village after meeting many devotees everywhere, you can feel how important it is to motivate people throughout the world, how important our outreach-based ministries at Ananda Village are that you are supporting through World Brotherhood Day donations. But people look to us, say, oh, that's how they're doing it. Oh, now we can do that too. Oh, look at the great graphics on that. Look at how that interactive website in class format is. And so we are also helping we're like the older brothers and sisters, helping the younger brothers and sisters figure out how to do it. And so that's a wonderful thing. But more than any of that, you probably know, you may or perhaps know, Jyotish and I write a weekly blog, A Touch of Light, and the comments we get from throughout the world are really amazing. I mean, we're just humbled by them. We've been doing it now it'll be every week, coming up to 10 years in 2023. But every week people say, oh, this is just what I needed to hear. Oh, thank you so much. I was going through such a hard time, and it's like God spoke through that blog. So just as the testimonials that Jitendra was referring to or Deva Leela read, we are reaching and touching people's hearts through our own humble, sincere offerings. Not that any of us are important, we're simply not, but we are disciples of Master. I remember when Swami began the work in India, 2003, he invited a number of us to come over and begin teaching. And I said to him at one point, but Swamiji, I'm embarrassed to be teaching yoga and meditation to Indians. They came from there, and who am I as a Westerner? He said, he always had the most wise advice. He said, don't think of yourself as a Westerner and them as Indians. You are a disciple of Master, and they are wanting to be. That's what you have to share. And so for all of us, our spiritual aspiration, our desire to see peace and well-being and harmony in the world, that's what we have to give. It doesn't matter if we're not perfect ourselves. who among us is perfect? But who among us does not want to share and help those in need? I dare say all of us. And World Brotherhood Day is a celebration. It's a focus that we can, it's a beacon of light we can carry throughout the year. And as we look at the world around us, it's a time, as you know as well as I, it's a time of tremendous suffering and challenge. But Ananda is a beacon of light, and it is a beacon of hope. And I just want to close my portion now, and then there's more to come. But I hope I can get through this without crying. Some before me couldn't, but this is a letter from a woman, a Kriya, who is living now. She's a very beautiful woman. I believe she was a school teacher. She's in her mid-60s. She lives in Kiev, Ukraine. At the beginning of the war, the members in Assisi said, her name is Tamara. They said, Tamara, it's going to get bad there. Why don't you come? We'll house you here. We'll find a way for you to stay. And she said, no, I'm needed here. And it's not that she has a ministry per se or a group per se. She was actually an online member of the Moscow meditation group and still connects with them as she can. But recently she wrote this letter. So this is, almost nearly a year later. She says, I feel myself every moment as a member of a huge cosmic family of self-realization, and my brothers and sisters inhabit all the expanses of the universe, the farthest stars, planets, countries, and continents of the earth. I have everything I need to live a simple, private life. I live in the living conditions which are available to me in conditions of war and electricity restrictions, because all the power plants of the country and the nuclear plants are damaged. I share with all the troubles and problems, and with the people who provide and support my existence. I am grateful to everyone who defends the right of every person to live as God gave us. I heartily enjoy your care, offers of support and help, and hold in my heart the warmth of your open souls, light and joy. Most importantly, I am able to practice. Sometimes there are setbacks, but my soul is always with God, with the Guru, with the Masters. This connection is getting stronger and brighter. The more dangerous and disturbing the environment, the more I feel their support. I thank God for the opportunity to work out karmic debts without delay and smooth over the barriers and obstacles that separate me from wholeness and oneness. Om Guru, Om. This is our sister Tamara, and I think she speaks for all of us. Her conditions perhaps are more challenging than ours, but we are part of her and she is part of us. And through our contact through Master, we are united with not only our Guru Bhais, that's somewhat limiting, but with a family of souls struggling to live in the light. So now I want to invite Jyotish to come up and join me, and we will offer a blessing to all of you.
So let us offer to you a blessing, but please realize that a blessing is not something that really is located in a single place, a single space. A blessing is a flow of energy from the divine to the divine. And so feel that this blessing is coming from God through the masters. We're happening to be the channels that are manifesting it in this space and time. But as you receive it, you need then to pass this blessing on so that it can continue to spread and continue to expand and touch all of those who are seeking support and comfort and a world that is filled with world brotherhood. So please close your eyes. Bring your consciousness to both the heart and the spiritual eye. And at that point, feel receptive to God's blessing, to His desire to bless you as a channel of light, a channel of blessing and comfort and love to all other people. And feel that as Devi and I will chant Om and channel as best our ability is the blessings of God and Gurus to you and through you out to everyone who is needing to receive the light, which is, in fact, everyone in this planet. So we'll chant Om 3 times, asking the Masters to bless you. Om. 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 And now let's chant Om 3 times together. And you send the blessings you've received. You transmit them out through this cosmic sound to everyone on the planet. Om. Om. Om.
Now we'll close with a visualization and a closing prayer. But I wanted to begin the visualization by reading Master's Prayer for a United World from Metaphysical Meditations. In 2014, Jyotish and I were humbly, with humility, we received at the United Nations Global Peace Ambassador Award. And at that ceremony, it was quite memorable. Jitendra was there, he filmed it. We were in the chapel at the United Nations, and we read at the United Nations this prayer, Master's Prayer for a United World. And we prayed that his consciousness would permeate those representatives from the different countries who were there attending the United Nations. So I'll begin with this, and then we'll do a visualization. Prayer for a United World. May the heads of all countries and races be guided to understand that men of all nations are physically and spiritually one. Physically one because we are descendants of common parents, the symbolic Adam and Eve, and spiritually one because we are the immortal children of our one Father, bound by links of brotherhood. Let us pray in our hearts for a league of souls and a united world. Though we may seem divided by race, creed, color, class, and political prejudices, still, as children of the one God, we are able in our souls to feel brotherhood and world unity. May we work for the creation of a united world in which every nation will be a useful part, guided by God through man's enlightened conscience. In our hearts, we can all learn to be free from hate and selfishness. Let us pray for harmony among the nations, that they may march hand in hand through the gate of a fair, new civilization. And so, let us visualize together, close your eyes if they're not already, and visualize this planet moving from darkness to light. See the particularly areas that are struggling now. Europe with financial and economic challenges, England with the same. The people bordering the Ukraine who are filled with anxiety about the spread of the war. The people of Iran who are fighting for freedom from religious oppression. The people of Ukraine. Their courage and strength brings light into the world. To the people of Russia, that they may find a way that their country may live in the light once more with the spirit of divine unity. Globally, that sickness and hardship may be faced with courage and strength, and that we may help one another move forward to this vision of a fair new civilization that Master saw, and that he and our great masters are helping to create. Let us be willing instruments for their energy, that God's light and love, His unity and divine purpose may be awakened in souls everywhere. Visualize our planet, the water, the air, the plants, the animals, birds, insects, all of humanity. Feel a new ray of hope and light moving through this planet. This world is just a dream in the mind of God, but by being channels for God's dream of light and love, we can help manifest a higher consciousness in this world. So once more, join Jyotish and me as we chant Om, holding this vision of a united world, of world brotherhood, not just words, but a reality. Let us send this out in a wave of deep, deep, earnest yearning that light may be born in the hearts of people everywhere. Join us as we chant Om. God bless you all, and may you have a holy season filled with the blessings of God, Christ, Guru, all of our line of masters, and may you be a channel for their light and love to everyone you meet. God bless you, and thank you for joining us for World Brotherhood Day.